And I got a good man. Yeah, talk to me. Talk to me. Still broke. Still broke. It's just miserable, miserable and sad. You know they doing that. That's you wish you can be in play. You doing all that. You doing all that. Yes, my life is very peaceful. Who is this who said that? Kel. Yes, my life is very, very, very peaceful. I live in a 7-bedroom house. I got a pool in the back with a basketball court. I got a gym in the basement. I got millions of dollars. I can buy what I want. Huh. Yeah. 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 Yeah, all that. All that. All that. And I'm happy and I got a good man. Yeah, talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. Huh? Huh? There you go. It's nothing that just how y'all can write words and y'all can make posts in capitals and y'all can blaze, y'all can post old pictures.
People know Remy Ma for many reasons. Her unmistakable voice, her sharp lyricism, her resilience, her survival story, and her undeniable presence. From the moment she entered the spotlight, she carried herself with a confidence that refused to be ignored. She has never been background noise. She has always been a force. But anyone who has followed her career closely understands that her image, her look, has always been just as much a part of her identity as her music. For Remy, style has never been just about clothing. It is the way she walks into a room. It is the way she stares into a camera. It is the way she blends toughness with femininity without asking for permission. Her aesthetic has never felt barred from trends or copied from mood boards. It was built over time, shaped through different eras of hip-hop when originality was not optional, it was everything. There was a time in hip-hop when standing out was a requirement for survival. Artists were not handed platforms easily, especially women. And women who refused to soften themselves for acceptance had to fight even harder. In that environment, identity became armor. For Remy, her look was never random. It was intentional. It was earned. So when fans began tagging her in posts comparing her style to Claressa Shields' recent appearance, it struck a nerve. At first, Remy said nothing. But in the age of social media, silence does not quiet a conversation, it amplifies it. Side-by-side photos started circulating online. Timelines filled with commentary. Wait a minute, doesn't this look familiar? Is it just me or is this giving Remy? Why does this feel like her entire vibe? Some people brushed it off. Fashion is fashion, they argued. No one owns a hairstyle. No one owns a jacket or a pose. Others, however, felt differently. They believed the similarities were too noticeable to ignore. And as more users shared their opinions, the noise. What began as casual comparisons slowly turned into a debate. Remy was watching. She may not have responded immediately, but she saw the posts. She saw the tags. She saw the conversations unfolding in real time. And anyone who knows Remy understands one thing: when something bothers her, she does not hide it well. She has never been the type to smile through what she perceives as disrespect. She has never been the type to let something slide just to avoid tension. To her, this did not feel small. It was not just about an outfit. It was not about a hairstyle alone. It felt like someone stepping into a lane she carved out herself without acknowledgement, without respect, and without even a subtle nod. In hip-hop culture, that kind of situation can feel deeply personal. Then came the moment everything shifted. Remy finally spoke, and when she did, there was no confusion about how she felt. Her response was not wrapped in soft language or diplomatic phrasing. It was not carefully filtered to avoid backlash. It was raw. It carried frustration, pride, and emotion all at once. It sounded like someone saying, "I worked for this. I built this. And now you're moving in it as if it is nothing." The tone alone made it clear this was not staged drama or a calculated attempt to trend online. It felt real. It felt personal. And as soon as her words hit social media, the reaction was immediate. Screenshots spread rapidly. Blogs picked up the story within minutes. Group chats lit up. Even people who did not actively follow either woman suddenly had strong opinions. Supporters of Remy argued that she had every right to speak up. They pointed out how often Black women create trends, aesthetics, and cultural moments only to watch others adopt them without giving credit. They emphasized how frequently originators are overlooked while others benefit from the visibility. From that perspective, Remy's frustration was understandable. That she was overreacting. They insisted that inspiration is not theft. They claimed that fashion evolves through influence and that no single person can claim ownership over a general style. In their view, the similarities were coincidental or simply part of shared cultural trends. And right in the middle of the debate stood Claressa Shields, whose name was now tied to a controversy she may not have anticipated. Every appearance is analyzed. Every look is dissected. When the comparisons surfaced during a moment when she was already under public attention, the pressure intensified. Others argued that responding would only escalate the issue. But online, silence creates space for assumptions, and people filled that space quickly. As the conversation continued, it moved beyond fashion. It became about something deeper: credit. In hip-hop culture, originality is not just appreciated, it is currency. It is survival. The genre was built by artists who had little more than their voice, their story, and their ability to be distinct. Sounding like someone else was never the goal. Looking like someone else was never the goal. Being different was the foundation. For artists like Remy, distinctiveness was not a creative luxury. It was necessary. The industry did not open doors easily, especially for women who refused to conform. Every bar she wrote, every image she presented. That is why perceived imitation can feel personal. It does not feel accidental. It feels like someone entering a room you built through struggle and acting as if they have always belonged there. Hip-hop has long memories. It remembers who struggled before the spotlight arrived. Credit in this culture is not simply polite, it is powerful. It is a way of saying, I see your contribution. I recognize your influence. Without that recognition, originators can feel erased. The debate online grew more intense. Some argued that influence is inevitable. Others countered that influence without acknowledgement becomes appropriation. The difference, they said, lies in respect. You can be inspired and still give flowers. What fueled the situation was not just the visual similarity. It was the absence of public acknowledgement. There was no shout-out, no subtle credit. In a genre where legacy matters, that silence spoke loudly. For Remy, this moment likely connected to more than just one comparison. It may have tapped into years of feeling overlooked, challenged, or underestimated. Being a woman in a male-dominated industry often means fighting twice as hard for recognition. So when she felt her signature aesthetic was being reused without credit, it likely reopened old frustrations. Meanwhile, fans on both sides continued to dig deeper. Some resurfaced older photos to highlight Remy's long-established style. Others searched for evidence that Claressa had embraced similar looks long before this controversy. What surprised many observers was how divided public opinion remained. There was no universally accepted right side. Even strong Remy supporters admitted the situation was complex. Even those defending Claressa acknowledged the similarities were noticeable. The gray area made the debate more nuanced and more intense. As the discussion expanded, it stopped being only about two individuals. It evolved into a broader critique of how culture operates. Commentators began discussing how often originators are celebrated late, if at all, while others benefit immediately. Trends are often lifted, polished, and reintroduced without context. The culture moves forward, but the pioneers sometimes fade from the spotlight. Clips and interviews resurface not necessarily to create chaos, but to ask meaningful questions. Many fans pointed out that when originators speak up, they are labeled bitter or insecure. But when they remain silent, their contributions risk being forgotten. It is a difficult position to navigate. In that light, Remy's reaction did not feel random. It felt like accumulated emotion finally reaching the surface. What initially sounded like anger began to resemble exhaustion, the fatigue of constantly having to remind people of your presence and impact. The conversation grew more honest. It became less about one outfit and more about the recycling of culture without roots. It became about how originality is praised selectively. It became about the importance of acknowledgement. Still, one question lingered: would Claressa respond? Each passing day without a statement fueled curiosity. Some argued she owed clarification. Others believed that silence was strategic. In the world of social media, one response can shift the entire narrative. As time passed, the intensity of the debate softened but did not disappear. Whether it ends with a private conversation, a public resolution, or simply fades into memory, its impact remains. Ground. For Claressa, it was a reminder that increased visibility often comes with unexpected storms. For the audience, it was proof that viral moments are rarely simple. Behind every headline are real people with real histories and real emotions. Colliding in real time,